Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. There's new life coming to the corner of Michigan and Trumbull. For many years, of course, Tiger Stadium stood there. Now the Detroit Police Athletic League, known as PAL, is going to transform the site into a youth sports complex and headquarters for the organization. The groundbreaking for the project takes place later this month. The new facility is going to honor the history of the site to allow PAL to serve more Detroit children. In order to redevelop the land, the nonprofit raised $12 million during its year-long Kids at the Corner campaign. The complex is scheduled to open next spring. Joining me now is the CEO of Detroit PAL, Tim Ritchie, along with Commander Todd Bettison of the Detroit Police Department. Welcome to American Black Journal.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so this is a super exciting project, bringing a whole new piece of life to that corner that, those of us who grew up here remember well as where the Tigers played. What I like about this project is a couple things. One, it involves young people, getting young people involved, but it's also sort of honoring the place here, that it's going to be a place that people are active and doing sports.
Yeah, no, thanks. I think it's going to be fantastic. We're really excited by it. We had a chance to, we were approached by the old Tiger Stadium Conservancy a couple of years ago and wondered whether PAL would be interested in helping to develop the site and operate the field and, like you say, retain the history and the memories there. And we really went into it with two goals. One was, let's bring to life the memories at the site, and let's remember all the great times that everyone, including myself, went and enjoyed out there. And let's really try to, reimagine all those good days. At the same time, let's be future thinking about what the kids in the community really need. And this athletic complex is going to be one of the finest complexes in the region, a home for Detroit PAL and these kids. So we think we've married both those goals together, and we think the community has really rallied around.
Yeah, and we're showing photos there on the screen of what's going to happen there. This is going to be a baseball diamond first and foremost, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to, it's going to retain the original dimensions, which I think is important. So again, trying to retain as much of the history and memories as we can. Same orientation, home plate's where home plate has always been, flagpole still there, same, dimensions, right field, left field, center field. Certainly for baseball, but as you know, PAL programs lots of different sports, so it'll be a site that we'll play contact football at. We're going to play soccer there. We're going to have lacrosse camps out there, cheer competitions, movie nights. It'll be a really central hub for Corktown, a home for Detroit PAL, with teaming with activities.
Yeah. Growing up here in the 70s and 80s, I remember PAL being a big part of being a kid in the city, and it seemed like for a while we sort of had a lull there, but it's sort of roaring back.
Well, absolutely. Chief Craig is definitely committed. Matter of fact, Chief Craig used to play PAL sports when he was a child, and just committed and wanted to understand and relay the message to the community that the Detroit Police Department and PAL is one. Police Athletic League. My daughter asked me before, like, Daddy, why are you so interested in PAL? What do the police have to do with PAL? I said, let's talk about this. Police Athletic League, not just be a PAL. So we're 100% committed. We have a program called Team Up, and we're putting more officers to actually be assistant coaches to mentor the kids, and it's helping with the public trust and community relations, because everybody can kind of gravitate towards sports.
Yeah.
And that's a way to really just break down barriers, and not only with the kids, the youth, but with their families. So it's working out great.
Well, and that's a great way to introduce young people to the concept of police, as opposed to maybe if they get into trouble, if they know someone who gets into trouble, the police officer is my coach. The police officer is helping out with my team. That changes the whole frame in which you start thinking of it.
Absolutely, and it benefits the officers as well, because oftentimes officers can see, or they're dealing with children or young folks in a context of some type of bad situation, but it's healthy with both ways.
Yeah.
Officers get a chance to see these young folks get a chance to see the officers, and just that interaction.
Yeah. Talk about the other things that'll go on at the facility. I know your headquarters will be there, so we're going to have lots of different kind of structures. It won't just be the athletic field.
Yeah, that's right. So PAL's headquarters will be there. So it's right now we're renting space in Midtown, and we love Midtown, but having a home for Detroit PAL I think is important.
Yeah.
The facility, the field, is going to be incredible. And so this unique location for us to play sports and invite other people to be down there and play. It'll include a couple thousand seats, so we'll have a real stadium there. There'll be dugouts, there'll be locker rooms, there's going to be a scoreboard, lights. So just a really unique location. PAL's headquarters that I mentioned, and then what's really cool is there's going to be a banquet facility over our headquarters on the second floor overlooking the field that's going to be able to hold up to 300 people. There'll be a full-service kitchen. There'll be a space for community events, corporate events, PAL events, weddings, birthdays, you name it. We want to make this space available to the community, to the corporate partners of ours, and like you said, bring to life a lot more out there. In addition to that, we also are working towards, and part of, while we did raise over $12 million, as you mentioned, to break ground, we're still in the middle of the Kids at the Corner campaign. So we encourage people to get involved. Go to kidsattthecorner.com to get involved as a partner, because we're also at the effort of trying to develop a Hall of Heroes out there. So we bring to life a lot of the men and women that shape the culture of sports, not only on that field, but in Detroit as well, so that our young people can learn the stories of some of these folks that they may never have heard of, but certainly all of us have heard about. So bringing to life a Hall of Heroes, a real tourist destination we think it'll become.
When you think about PAL in the city, I said before that it was a huge deal when I was a kid. It seemed to be like a lesser big deal for a while. But my kids have played PAL soccer here in the city at Fort Wayne, and I was blown away by the number of kids who were involved in that. I mean, all day on Saturdays, there would be kids out on the fields playing games because there were that many kids and that many games that had to take place.
10 soccer fields down there at Fort Wayne, and like you said, all day long there's teams coming and going from all the neighborhoods in Detroit wearing all kinds of different colored uniforms. It's a blast to see. But PAL, we served over 13,000 kids last year, and we did that with 1,800 volunteers. And those volunteers all had background checks and all got trained in how do you build character through sports. But I mean, soccer's one thing, but our contact football program has 3,200 kids. Basketball, we're running 900 kids right now in house basketball and 700 in school. So it's a big deal. And PAL has definitely come back. And not to say that it wasn't wonderful all those years, but we really feel good about where we're doing right now.
Refocused.
And the direction we're going. And we think the Tiger Stadium project has risen the profile of PAL and gotten a lot of more people involved. And it's for kids. It's the right thing to do.
There are also academic and leadership development programs involved with PAL. I would imagine that's an important part of the police component as well.
Oh, absolutely. And our officers actually get trained by the University of, by Michigan State University, and they're trained in how to deal with the kids and also teach and develop those leadership characters in youth so that we grow young, productive adults from those children. And I have to believe that by having 13,000 kids participating in our PAL program, that has to be a crime deterrent, and it's saving lives.
When you guys work with young people in the city, I mean, young people in the city get a pretty bad rap a lot of the time about the kind of trouble that we see and things like that. But whenever I talk to people who are actually working with young people in Detroit, you hear a really different story about who they are and really what they need and what they want.
Well, oftentimes bad news travels fast. So I thank you, Stephen, for allowing us to be on this show to actually talk about some good news. Because those good news stories, we have to really push those out and really highlight the great thing that the children in the city of Detroit are doing with this PAL program.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I've had a chance to coach hundreds of kids in Detroit, and I've gone into lots of schools and lots of neighborhoods, and all I've ever seen are kids that are encouraged and excited about the chance to play, want the kind of opportunity we provide for them. And I'll tell you, with 13,000 kids, honestly, the trouble that PAL has is usually with the parents and the coaches.
The kids get a little overexcited.
Like everything, we get passionate about our kids and our sports, but the kids are fantastic, and it's a pleasure to work with them.
And we have to grow it.
Go ahead.
We have to grow it. I mean, 13,000 kids in the city of Detroit, that's good, but the goal is to move the bar. We need to get 14, 15, 20,000 kids because the need is there.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the controversy over the field itself. My understanding is that it's going to be artificial turf. There are some people who believe it ought to be grass. Talk to me about why the decision was made.
Sure, yeah, we understand there's a lot of passion for that site,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people that really are passionate about it, and we appreciate that and respect that. A lot of us have history and memories down there, but you know, we conducted a lot of research around this. You know, it's important for us that we understand exactly what we're getting into, and so we spoke with experts in the field. We researched around the country. We actually did a survey of all the athletic directors in the state of Michigan that have synthetic turf fields, and invited them to, and we asked them, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And the reality is, for us, the synthetic field provides a more durable surface, which allows more kids and more participants on the field by the tens of thousands. So, and the natural grass we all love, but we know on days like this, it's soggy outside and it's wet, and then when you play contact football, the grass is going to get ruined. So we feel like the best option, the smartest option, and the future-thinking option for thousands of kids is synthetic turf. We also know that there's some concern around the rubber pellets in the turf.
Right.
We said long ago that we won't have rubber pellets on the surface. We're looking at other options down there. We know the EPA is conducting a study this year as well. So we look forward to hearing those results before we decide what we're going to do. But safety of children comes first for PAL. It always has and it always will. And believe me, we've done our research on this. We know what we're getting into. We believe we made the best decision in order to give these kids, thousands of kids, a chance to play out there.
Right. And at the end of the day, we're bringing baseball back to the corner. I would imagine that the people who were super enthusiastic about preserving that site have to feel like that's a victory too.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's the goal, is to give these kids a place to play, you know, and we know that play is really primary in our focus out there. So I think you're right, yeah. So we're, you know, looking forward to it, and like I said, getting thousands of kids out there.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And Chief Craig has had his eye on it, and he's aware of the issue as far as with the crumb rubber, and no way will we utilize crumb rubber. The research,
when you say crumb rubber, it's the
rubber
little pellets that you see sometimes if you're watching NFL. You
Absolutely.
see it kick up when they get tackled or whatever.
Absolutely, and some folks have said that research that is possibly carcinogenic, so no way will we use that and expose our children to that.
Yeah.
We're going to use the artificial turf, but we're going to make sure that we use the safest and the best based off research.
Right. Okay, so this kicks off next month, correct? When are kids going to start playing at the site? Next summer?
Yep, so spring of 17 is when we're planning on opening up, and we're right now planning a ceremonial groundbreaking, and so that'll be in the next couple weeks. You'll hear more about that coming up, but we'll get the shovels out there. We're going to have a big celebration out there, and then the actual bulldozers will come by the end of April. So you'll start seeing a lot of progress out there this summer, and I think people are going to be around the state of Michigan are going to be really proud of what they see at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull when it's all said and done.
Well, it's great news, and thank you guys both for your efforts.
Thank you,
Stephen. Thanks for